What is it to be alive? To have energy and vitality, resilience and flexibility, to marvel at the universe, to delight in living, to have deep reserves of energy and power that last your whole life. The Chinese call the energy of life qi, a force so powerful it holds the universe together, yet so gentle it supports the very beginnings of life. Roots and Branches 5-element Qi Gong comes from the movements of Tai Chi and the 5 elements of classical Chinese medicine as taught by Professor J.R. Worsley. In Roots and Branches, individual Tai Chi postures are held and simple movements are repeated to support lifelong balance and health. Special massages bring energy to specific areas and systems of the body. Tai Chi Grandmaster Professor Cheng Man-Ching was influential in bringing Tai Chi to the West in the 1960s. He was also a noted doctor of Chinese medicine, holding the position equal to Surgeon General. Professor Cheng prescribed specific movements and postures to his patients to aid in their healing. His senior student, Patrick Watson, founder of the Tai Chi Foundation, wanted to preserve this healing knowledge. Patrick asked his senior student, acupuncturist Pat Gorman, to interview Professor Cheng's patients in the 1970s and 80s. From Pat's notes and insights, she developed Roots and Branches 5-element Qigong with the help of her fellow Tai Chi teacher and acupuncturist, Hedy Sporkin. In this DVD, senior Tai Chi teachers show you how to generate deep energies with powerful yet simple postures, movements, and breathing techniques. You'll learn the fundamental energies and special qualities of each of the 5 elements, and how to use each element's moves and corresponding massages in your daily life. Everyone can benefit from Roots and Branches 5-element Qigong. The natural principles and gentle movements enhance the experience of any stage of life, and even return us to that wonderful feeling of being fully alive.
Hello, I'm Pat Gorman, and I have been a student and a teacher of Tai Chi, Qigong, and Chinese medicine for most of my life. I fell in love with this work a long time ago, and it has fascinated me and kept me involved. And every time I test it, it comes through with some new gift of understanding for me. And so we have condensed that gift of many, many years of work into this DVD. The classical way of learning in China is to hear something over and over again. Let it wash over you. So it's not something that you're learning or memorizing, but rather it becomes part of you, of your deep knowledge. Take one section and watch it several times. Let it enter your thoughts. Go out into the world and observe what you've learned and look at it in nature and look at it in life. Try the moves that go with that section. Let each section take a week or so. Of course, you may want to watch the whole thing at once, and that's fine. But if you find yourself feeling like, oh, this is overwhelming, just remember this suggestion and take it piece by piece. The 5 elements are the foundations of Chinese philosophy for thousands of years. They are the observation of nature put into action. The 5 elements create a cycle that is complete. In every part of life, the Chinese use this in order to heal, to make life happy and joyous and full, and to make sure there's something left over for the future. The first element they saw that was at the bottom of the cycle was the water element. The oceans contain the history of everything. All of life is in the ocean. The water element is experienced as all the fluids in the body. From water, wood or plant life is born. The wood element is our growth and our repair systems. From there, the plant life flowers, and we enter the fire stage, where things mature, flower, interact. The fire is circulation and the heart, and creation of the heat that lets us digest. Now, up to this point, we've swooped up more and more energy, water, wood, fire. That's all very yang and rising energy. And now we start on the yin side. We have the earth element, the enjoyment of all of those things that the earth has given us. The earth element is the digestive system and delivers to us the abundance outside as food and healing inside. From there we move into the metal cycle. And that cycle is getting rid of everything that is not the most precious part that can go on and create a new cycle. The seed, and in the ground, the bits of minerals that fertilize, and in the air, the minerals that allow clouds to form and thereby bring water back as an element. So here we have a complete cycle that runs around the year, but it also exists inside of us even on a daily basis. We start in a period of deep rest where we are gathering our reserves, where our fluids are being created with our DNA inside our body, the water period. And then we're going to wake up, enter the day, give birth to our energies, reach a kind of maximum interaction. Then we're going to have the fruits of what's happened in that day. And then we're going to let go of that day. And the same thing happens in a year, a lifetime, the creation of a book, a symphony, a painting. Everything has this gathering together of the reserves, making a plan, and then giving birth to that, reaching a kind of maturity where whatever we are creating or whatever we are living has its maximum interaction with others. And then we have the fruits of it. It might be getting our salary check. It might be having a meal. But the fruits of whatever we have done that day. And then letting go, but keeping only what is most valuable from that cycle. So as we observe the cycle of the 5 elements, as a farmer would in order to raise food, working with the year, same thing in our bodies, working with the year, working with the energies, we can restore those parts that have become weak, that have been damaged, that were maybe never so strong to begin with. And in Tai Chi and Qi Gong, the moves are related to one element or another, and they can strengthen and support us and help us recover from problems, help us become stronger in areas where we'd like to shine. So the cycles complete us on every level. And even though they are thousands of years old, they still seem to be completely relevant today. The first 3 moves that we do have a special quality, a special purpose. They have to be special because they have to reach the deepest energies in the body. And those energies are called Jing Qi. The Jing is the deep ancestral energy that's given to us by our parents, our grandparents, ad infinitum. Now the Jing Qi gives us our deep strength, our resistance to illness, our invulnerability. But what if it's not strong enough? What if we do get ill? What if we do lose some of our deep strength? The 3 moves that we're going to do are specially designed to keep the Jing intact and to restore it if it is ever damaged. So these exercises Professor Chang honed, and they almost seem like nothing. How can simply standing still with the arms in a circle do anything? But it is the state of being inside that you create that makes the difference. A state where you connect to the everything. So very simple moves can create the deepest effect.
The Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. The Tao that can be spoken is not the real Tao. The unnameable is the eternally real, the gateway to all mystery.
We start this move by standing with feet parallel, shoulders width. The outsides of the feet are what we want parallel. Take a moment to focus in your dantian, or center of energy. The dantian is about 4 finger widths below your navel and about 1/3 of the way into the body. Take a breath and feel your energy centered in your belly. Then let your arms hang down. Bring them up in a generous circle with the left hand facing the center of the chest and the right hand wrapping around, touching lightly at the wrist. Keep the circle big. You are embracing infinity here after all. So you want a very big circle. Let your arms relax and float in this position. And if they grow tired, they can relax down for just a moment and then bring them back up. So there shouldn't be any strain while you hold this position. The eyes are half closed and the tongue lightly touches the roof of the mouth. That completes a huge, important energy circuit that runs around the whole body. Stand straight and relaxed. The top of the head feels like it's hanging down on a thread that just pulls us up a little bit. And the rest of our body can relax down to the earth. Breathe through the nose with the lips closed. And on the inhale, let your lungs feel like they're filling from the bottom to the top. And let your lungs empty from the top to the bottom. Inhale. Exhale. Let your eyes rest on the horizon. As you stand in this position, empty out. Let your mind relax. Don't focus on any thought. Let them just pass by until you feel a kind of emptiness. There's a meditation that has been done for thousands of years, and it's a way of beginning to comprehend the Tao. As you stand in this position, focus in your dantian as though it's a point of light, a tiny point of light. Let it expand until it forms a sphere around your entire body, a sphere of white light. Let this sphere expand, breath by breath, to take in the room you're in, the town you're in, the country, the continent, the entire planet. Keep remembering that your dantian is the center, but let this sphere of light expand as far as you can take it into the universe, to the edges of infinity. And now, breath by breath, bring it back, step by step, until the entire universe rests in your dantian.
Things arise, let them come. Things disappear, let them go. The cycle lasts forever.
Everything in nature has a cycle of activity and rest. We call the active part of the cycle yang, and we call the rest or restoration part of the cycle yin. The yin-yang breath consists of an active part where we're breathing air into our lungs and a resting part where we're letting it empty out. The active part circulates the energy up the spine, and the rest part lets the energy come down the front of the body. Stand in shoulders width, feet parallel at the outsides, knees slightly bent. Let anything that's heavy go down to the earth. And as we stand in this position, we take a moment to focus in our center of energy, our dantian. Take a breath and relax. Take an inhale and let the arms float up as though drawn up by strings. And at the very end of the inhale, let the fingers extend straight forward. As you exhale, the elbows grow heavy, and then the hands curve around, joint by joint, to the tip of the fingers as though going over a waterfall, all the way down until they're resting as though on a plateau. Then let the fingers relax. When you inhale, feel that the air fills your lungs from the bottom to the top. And as you exhale, let your lungs empty from the top all the way down to the bottom. On the inhale, the air is slightly cool going through the nose. And on the exhale, the air is warmer leaving the body. In the morning, it's good to do at least 9 of these. And you'd want to do an odd number because yang, or activity, is seen as connecting to an uneven number. In the evening, you want to do an even number of breaths. And so you would maybe do 8 or 10 or 12. After you've slowed your breath down a little bit, you can begin to imagine that a point of light starts at the bottom of the coccyx, or the spine. And as you inhale, that point of light travels to the top of your head. As you exhale, imagine that the point of light comes all the way down to the very bottom of the torso. So on the inhale, the point of light travels up the spine to the top of the head. And at the exhale, it travels down the front of the body until it reaches the bottom of the torso. And this completes a really big cycle inside our body that relates to the Jing Qi that we hold deep inside of us.
Cycles expand into the universe, further and further, constantly widening until the circle is complete.
Professor Cheng developed the constant bear as something which contains in it all the principles of Tai Chi and all the principles of Qigong. Imagine an enormous bear standing straight up, walking through the forest. And at the same time, the bear is holding in his hands the world. And that world needs to have a constant cycling of day to night, and night to day, summer to winter, fall and spring. The Chinese entrust to the bear, an animal who's very consistent with its rhythms and cycles, this job of keeping the cycles of the world going. And on top of the bear's head is an owl to remind him to keep his head up and walk straight as he turns the world over from day into night, night into day. Begin the constant bear in a wider than shoulder width stance, but the feet are still parallel. Still feel the string connecting your head to the heavens and relaxing the body down. Here we want the knees to be a little bit more bent, more sung. That's a Chinese word that means relax and sink. So sung in your knees and your body. Take a moment to focus in the dantian and take a breath. Shift all of the weight to one side. The dantian shifts all the weight to the other side. Let the whole torso move as one, shoulders over the hips. The top hand leads as we go from one side to the other. You can imagine this as a very big world or a slightly smaller world. As we do the constant bear, we breathe in one direction in and in the other direction out. The dantian creates the movement to the left and to the right. A tremendous amount of movement is going on, moving every joint, shifting the weight from one leg to the other. And this stimulates not only the Jing Qi, but also the Qi that we will use today in our daily life. In a way, the constant bear is a link between our deepest energies and our daily life. Professor used to say, as you did this move, to remain in a happy mood. And as we do this move, we become the bear. We take on that responsibility of constancy, of cycles, both in our body and in a sense for the whole world.
Water enters where others cannot go, collecting in the depths and finding itself one with the whole universe.
Water, the beginnings of life. When you think of water, do you imagine a lake, smooth, reflecting the sky? Do you see rain coming down, pelting the sidewalk? Do you see a waterfall? Maybe just mist rising. Water has maybe the most extreme yin, quiet, placid, and yang, active qualities. It can be the most placid, the most calm of all the elements, and it can be the most powerful, the strongest. It can wear away stone. And this substance is at the beginning of life, a substance that goes from formless to absolute form. The ancient Chinese actually spoke of the water containing the ancestors, and we use our will to incarnate. That's how they saw it. And it's called zhi, that power that brings us through. Now, to have power, you have to have reserves. You have to have gas in the tank. And in our own bodies, we have to have fluids in reserve. All of those fluids, amazingly, have our personal stamp, our individual identity in every drop. The water element is essential to the cycles of life, and that water element recreates itself constantly. Everything going back to the ocean and then rising up and being redistributed through the rain all over the planet. And breathed in and out by the trees. So that element exists in a microcosm in us, almost the same way that it does on the planet. And that will, that power, is in nature represented by by hurricanes and tidal waves and the amassing of the strength of water. And in ourselves, it's our will to live. It's our sense of self-preservation. It's connected to fear in us. But fear is not always a bad thing because fear keeps us alive. When it becomes too much, we have to overcome it with courage. And so that sense of self-preservation jumps up in us and says, no, I'm going to live. This is not going to take me out. Whether it's an illness, a car zooming towards you, or let's say anything negative that comes at you in life that makes you afraid that you can't accomplish what you need to. And from that place inside, you amass that strength, that power, and you come forward with it, with your own tidal wave, with your own hurricane if need be. The name water wheel comes from a device in China that took the water from the river and then poured it out where it was needed. So our moves have two parts. The first move, done on the left side, with the left arm in a great curve around the front of the body, is about the water being collected. We can use our imagination to feel ourselves as the water itself, as a great ocean. But you know what? A great ocean that is even filling more. Because the right arm, angling down, indicates a huge deluge pouring down onto the ocean, a rivers pouring out into the ocean. Any image where water pours into a great container. Begin in shoulder width, or as you get used to the posture and sink deeper, you may want to step a little bit wider than shoulder width, feet parallel. Focus in the dantian and take a slow, deep breath. Shift all the weight into the right leg and open the left foot to the diagonal. Shift the weight about 70% into the left foot, keeping both knees bent. And bring the left arm up in a generous circle in front of the chest. The right arm angles down like a waterfall pouring into the depths of the ocean. When you're ready, when your legs have burned a little bit, shift your weight into the back leg, turning the front foot forward. Shift the weight into the left leg and open the right foot. Shift the weight 70% forward, bringing the right arm up in a generous circle in front of the chest, and the left arm angles up, palm sees palm, fingertips pointing to the ridge of the right hand. It's like a fountain. All of your stored energy surges upward to be put to use in your life. Keep the eyes relaxed, breathe deeply. Let your legs burn just a little bit, and when they do, relax a little bit more. When you reach your limit on one side, shift to the other. In these two postures, we become the water energy itself. On the left side, a powerful waterfall of energy goes deep inside. And on the right side, a fountain of whatever kind of water energy we need. Body fluids, physical strength, will, the power to accomplish, or even the courage to conquer our fears. The rain walk brings energy and chi to the low back and the whole lower body. When we were young, we could bend and fold our bodies so easily. And when we did, it would open our low back. It kept all the vertebrae free and easy moving. Now, as we grow older and sit, we stiffen in that area. But there is a walk that can open the low back. We do this by keeping shoulders width and feet parallel. That opens the hip joints and causes the low back to relax down a little bit and start opening up. Start in shoulder width, feet parallel. Take a moment to focus in the dantian. Take a nice, deep, slow breath. Begin by shifting all the weight into one leg, and now step out with the other foot. Keep shoulders width while you step. This is very important. Step with an empty foot and let the whole foot touch the ground at once, like a drop of rain hitting the sidewalk. As you step, the hands have formed loose fists, open in the middle. They circle around your hips. The opposite hand comes forward with the opposite foot. Keep your eyes on the horizon. Let your feet see the ground. Inhale each time you take a step. As you shift forward, you exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Do the rain walk as much as you like. You can't overdo it, and it's especially good after you've been sitting for a while. In this move, like water wearing away stone, we gradually free up the stuck places in the low back, hips, and legs, so that they can begin to move freely again. Kidney massage is a great way to restore your energy if you've been immobile for a period of time, especially if you don't have much room to move around. Stand in shoulder width with parallel feet, knees relaxed and spine straight. Stroke with the back of the hands, fingers pointed down on either side of the spine. It's important to start high enough on the back, on the lower part of the rib cage, and continue down parallel to the base of the spine. Each stroke goes downward only to match the flow of water through the kidneys. Do 49 strokes in each session. This is the maximum number to bring energy to the area. You can repeat the 49 strokes 3 or 4 times in a day. This massage can re-energize you when you're feeling dull. It can help you to act with clarity and strength.
The sap rises, the wind blows, the tree bends but does not break, overcoming by yielding.
The wood energy is a phase of energy that rises up, grows almost an architectural structure of a body, a tree, whatever it's growing. And what does the wood energy want to do? It wants to carry out the plan. The Chinese didn't know DNA thousands of years ago, but they knew there was a plan inside of every living being to become what it could become. So the wood energy works to become the best manifestation that it can be. From the Chinese point of view, inside of us is an aspect of spirit called the Hun. And so the Hun, the individual spirit, looks for the light. You'll see a shaft of bamboo, a little curve in the beginning, and then it'll start to straighten out as it finds its way up. And in all growing things, you'll see the history of looking for the light. Everything comes back in the spring from the winter. That's our time to grow. And in our life, from our very early beginnings, we look for our path to the sun, even break through the concrete to get to it, find the crack between the bricks, and find our way up. So where do we go? What are we doing? What are our choices that make us ourselves? And so in this element, planning and decision-making are manifestations of how we move on the path. When the energy of the wood is healthy in a plant or a person, the chi is pulled from the earth into the being of the person and fills every passageway and allows us to move. It has a tremendous amount to do with coordination and movement, as well as growth across time, so that we become a fully grown, fully mature being of whatever we're supposed to be. We start in shoulder width, a little bit wider. We take a moment to focus in the dantian and take a breath. Let the belly expand, relax. Shift the weight all the way into one leg. Open up the other foot, the empty foot, to a 45-degree angle. And then shift 70% of your weight into that leg while keeping both knees bent. The hips follow the direction of the front foot. The fingers are open, and you can experience the air between them. And on the inhale, let your lungs feel like they're filling from the bottom to the top, and let your lungs empty from the top to the bottom. And the chi of the earth comes up through your legs, through your dantian, up through the straightness of your body, up the top of your head and to the tip of your fingers. And when we've held this posture for a little while and the legs may be burning a little, we shift back, the arms relax, and when we're 100%, we close the empty foot towards the front, shift all the weight into it now, open the other foot, and shift forward 70%, letting the arms float up and out just below eye level. As we come into this position, we pass through a moment when all the weight is on the back leg. This is the node of the bamboo, the moment of difficulty in a way, where the bamboo has to figure out how to structure itself to go on to the next growth spurt. And out of that node, two little branches that expand the direction towards the light. The wood element is about youthful abilities remaining with us through our whole life. Everything has to be flexible if you're going to reach your destiny. You may have a goal, but you may not be able to go to it in a straight line. So you need to be able to go back to establish the next node and then to come forth. And as you do this, be as smooth as you can be with a slight relaxation at the back and then coming forward and slightly up. And as you do this, you establish a rhythm from inside. When you set this posture in motion, it's like the sap is rising and a rhythm establishes itself. When the wind blows through the trees, they yield and they come back. And there's a creative quality of adapting to whatever life throws at you. You yield, you reestablish yourself, and you come forward in a new way. And so we breathe with this. When we go back and we yield, we exhale. And then we inhale as we come forward. We fill with chi and strength, and we come out to find the new path, the new way we want to do it. In the Roots and Branches walk, we are a tree, a human tree. And when we look at a tree, as far as its branches spread, usually are as far as its roots are spreading under the ground. If the tree's 30 feet high, the roots may go 30 feet deep. In this move, we stand on one leg, the other toe points, and the branches spread out. Nourishment, air, minerals, we take them all in. On a physical level, this walk is about upright balance. You're on one leg. The other leg is up in the air, if only a little bit. And your arms are spread out. This is not the easiest posture to hold. And the only way to hold it is to be truly straight inside. As you balance on each leg, like the trunk of the tree, you may feel the energy coming up through you, straightening you out, making your skeleton balance. Your muscles hold you with greater ease, and every little old pain and injury unravel, and it may start to feel better. This is what we're looking for. Inside, your inner organs may also experience positive change. Circulation, all the fluids in the body will begin to move, the breath opens up, and we become tremendously energized. We start the Roots and Branches walk in shoulder width. Take a moment to focus in the Dantian and take a breath and relax and let everything go. Begin in the position of the Tao. From here, shift all your weight into one leg and the hands turn over. And now everything opens up like a tree. Step, heel, toe, shift the weight, bring the arms together, and repeat this on the other side. Each step you take is heel, toe, and empty. The foot lifts just slightly from the ground. Inhale as the arms extend outward. Exhale as you bring them back together. Inhale. Exhale. And there's something magical in this walk. And that is a message that we're giving ourselves. We might know what our destiny is. We might have the goal. And we're going towards it, but not in a straight line. Every step we take is on an angle. Every step we take tells us that we may have to be flexible and change as we go towards our destiny. There's a wonderful classical Chinese massage for the eyes that is both for external vision and our internal ability to see our spirit path. It involves a massage around the orb of the bone. You make loose fists. You place the index finger along the eyebrow. You take the knuckle of the thumb keeping the other fingers curled to the side and out of the way. With a very nice light touch, you slide that knuckle around the bone, around the eye socket, and you want to make that circle 36 times. You're going to go at your own speed, and behind the eyelids you let go. You allow the whole eye to relax. You can repeat it every 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe do it 2 or 3 times altogether if your eyes are very tired. Or you can do it a couple of times in a day. Really wonderful if you've been working at the computer, if your eyes are really exhausted. But also, what about that inner vision? Have you lost your sense of where you're going? Why are you doing the project that you're doing? This is going to help the inner vision stay as alive as the vision that you use in the world.
I awaken from a dream of flowers. Their pure scent rises from twining vines. The early summer sun opens my heart.
The warmth of summer opens the flowers, brings the bees. It brings the beauty and the joy and happiness of life. Suddenly the whole world opens up and begins to interact. Fire comes first from the warmth of the sun. That's the fire that starts life on this planet. And as the summer comes in, everything comes to the surface and expands and wants to do a dance. So, sex and love and relationships, and also in a greater sense, community, the warmth of community around us, from whom our closer relationships come. And then there's a surprising other side of fire. The other side is that we take responsibility for our life. We take control of what's happening in our life. And we say, this is the way that I want my world to be. And in a sense, then, we become the ruler of our own world. That's the other side of fire. The Chinese aspect of spirit in the fire is called the Shen. And it really means that drop of the divine that is in us. And it's seen as living in our hearts. And it is the ability to love everyone equally and openly. And from this comes our joy of life. It starts when we're children with that kind of wild abandon, that happiness that just makes us scream and shriek and roll down a hill. It's there, ready to be present when it's called upon. And it's ready to come up spontaneously by impulse. So the moves that we do are directly designed for that, to bring that energy into us and then up, so that it's like ready to bubble up off the top and be shared with other people. With fire, you never run out. There's always enough. There's always enough for you and everyone around you, because the divine never runs out of energy. If we're going to be spontaneous and available and loving, we're going to be vulnerable. And when we're vulnerable, we also need protection. In the gate of fire, the hands come together and actually make a circle. The arms are making a circle in front of us, and the hands complete that circle like flames. Anything that's going to come through that gate has to pass through the flames and be, in a sense, purified. Begin in shoulder width or a little wider, feet parallel. Take a moment to focus in the dantian. Take a breath. Shift all the weight into one leg, open the other foot to the diagonal, and shift 70% of the weight forward into that leg. Bring the forward arm up in a generous circle. The other hand joins it at the notches of the palm. If you look at your hands, you'll see that the notches of the palms are just above the wrists. Bring these notches together to form the flames of the gate of fire. Inhale, let your lungs feel like they're filling from the bottom to the top. Exhale, and let your lungs empty from the top to the bottom. You are fire as you stand in this position, and as you hold it, you will feel the heat rise in your body. You'll feel your legs get warm. You'll feel the warmth reach your fingers. Let your legs burn a little bit and relax into them. And then you're ready to change. Shift back, close the front foot to the front, shift the weight into it, and open the other foot to the diagonal. Shift the weight 70% into that. And now your other arm circles, palm facing the chest, joining the hands at the notches of the palms. As you hold the posture, focus your mind in the dantian. Feel that warmth extend down through your legs to the ground and up through your torso, through your arms, to your fingertips. Feel that intense heat from the dantian radiating throughout the entire body. Sometimes our fire needs a little ignition to get it started, a spark, something to light it, something to bring it up a notch. And as we speed up, we're going to bring the hands together and create a spark, a sound that sounds like lighting a fire, that sounds like ignition. Let the dantian do it. The dantian makes the spark. The dantian brings the hands together. Ignite the spark that lets you radiate the fire inside you. When did you last feel the joy of movement? We go through life with many rote behaviors and movements, and we need to sometimes express a kind of wild freedom, a kind of abandonment. The lion dance gives us a chance to take that wildness, give it a form, give it a step and a rhythm, and make it work for us, make it free us up. If you're feeling a little bit disheartened, maybe you're just feeling blah, try this. In about 30 seconds, I bet you're going to be feeling a lot happier. Every time that there's a celebration in China, every time a new store opens, every time that there's a feast day, there's a lion dance. As we do this move, we're going to be prancing the lion, coming across the savannah, free and easy. We're full of energy and power. Begin the lion dance in a shoulder width. Take a moment to focus in your dantian. Take a nice deep breath. And then let your arms relax. The important thing is everything comes from the dantian. Begin the move by shifting all the weight into one leg and opening the other foot to the diagonal. Now put all your weight into that foot and peel up the empty foot and swing it around in a circle towards the arch of the other foot, and then lay it on the diagonal. Now shift all the weight into that leg, circling with the empty foot, and place that foot on the diagonal. Each time you take a step, your hands will move with your feet. Your hands are in little fists, open in the center. As you swing the foot around, the arm comes around, up, over the leg, and down behind the hip. Inhale each time you take a step. As you shift forward, you exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Once you have a rhythm going and you're pretty secure with your steps, begin to bring your legs up and begin to make it almost a prancing step. We become the lion in these joyful moves, experiencing the peak of life and health. The chest massage. We use it to comfort and calm the heart and the emotions, to harmonize our feelings. This also helps open up your breathing, and it can help with digestive issues like heartburn. Take a breath and imagine the energy of the dantian extends to the palms of the hands. This is the energy that we're going to use. The fingers point downward, and the palm delivers a gentle, firm stroke from just under the neck all the way down to the bottom of the breastbone. We're going to do this 49 times, which is the most you can do, bringing the energy to the area. After that, it starts to dissipate a little, so we want to do the maximum that's positive for the emotions. You can repeat this 3 or 4 times throughout the day. Breathe slowly and empty your mind, allowing this gentle massage to relax and calm you.
A handful of mud, a vessel of clay, holds canyons and mountains, and oceans and stars. A handful of mud, a vessel of clay, holds the divine.
The earth element is our mother. It's our planet. It's that which has given birth to everything that's on it. And here we are, her children. We're in the position to harvest all of this and enjoy it. Give it to others. Share it. The late summer is a season that the ancient Chinese actually recognized separately, a 5th season as it were. And this is the season of the harvest, of the ripening, of everything coming to fruition, and of us harvesting and preparing all the foods to last us throughout the whole year. There's a sense at this time of year, the late summer, that we better enjoy it because the winter's coming. We invite our friends over for the last time in the summer. We're able to lie in the sun for the last time. And there's this sense of, oh, we wish this could last forever. And it almost feels like it will. The earth is the flesh of everything. Our Mother Earth is the flesh from which we get all of our nourishment. And everything that grows and has fruit, that's the flesh coming back to us. Everything that is consumed on the planet. And in our bodies, it's the muscles. It's what actually allows us to move. This is like the land of us, the landscape of us, the very flesh of us. And that's what we make, that and other things, when we eat. We transform food into every single thing that we need. The earth element gives us form. It gives us a place to be on the planet, just as the planet gives us a place to be. The spirit of the earth is called the E, and it is the mind and the heart together. What does that mean? The mind has experiences and analyzes things, and the heart feels them. We want to take these two and put them together and develop understanding, wisdom, and compassion. And it's that compassion, that empathy that comes from Earth that allows us to give to others generously because we understand their need from the inside. So in a way, Earth is our teacher. And through the Earth element, we become teachers of our children, our students, our patients. In fact, anyone we come in contact with, if there's something that we give them from our minds and our hearts, we are experiencing the quality of the earth element, and that's the quality of the mother in each of us. Just as the earth has an axis on which it turns, and it is absolutely stable in that way, we too want to feel like that. We want to feel that we are at home in ourselves, that we are centered in ourselves, that we see the world from this center place, and we turn on our own axis. And while things may happen out in the world, they only influence us so far as we want them to. And so in the posture that we take, the axis comes from having all the weight on one foot, and we feel this string from the heavens, which is the axis extending straight up into the sky. And we experience that straight line to the very center of the earth. We begin in a shoulder width, parallel feet. Focus in the dantian and take a slow, deep breath. And from here, we shift all the weight into one leg, opening the other foot to the diagonal, lightly touching the heel, keeping the toe in the air, and keeping about a shoulder's width between our feet. Turn the dantian towards the empty foot. The arms are extended out from the shoulders, and the hands are in a position so they feel like they're about to give someone something or take something. One hand over the empty leg, and one straight down from the shoulder over the full leg. The hand over the empty leg extends further, fingertips at shoulder level. The other hand is lower, and its palm sees the elbow of the hand that extends out. We're suspended from the heavens by that cord that lets us hang down. Sung. Inhale. Let your lungs feel like they're filling from the bottom to the top. Exhale, and let your lungs empty from the top to the bottom. Hold the position for a little while until the legs burn a little bit. Then, relax a little more. Sink a little more. And now we're ready to change legs. Close the front foot to the front. Shift the weight into it 100%. Open the dantian to the opposite diagonal. The heel lightly touches down, toe off the ground. We relax and sink. And when you feel that alignment from the top of the head, the dantian to the arch of the foot, let the feeling go all the way down as deep as you can feel towards the center of the earth. And you really can feel it. You can feel your alignment to the center of the earth. Our arms extend out. And it's a very interesting feeling. Are we giving or are we receiving? The feeling is we're doing both simultaneously, just as Mother Earth does. And so this posture puts us in the position of the Divine Mother, Mother Earth, on her axis, creator of cycles, giving and receiving to everyone. In this move, we are the farmer, throwing the seeds from the seed bag out into the field, distributing them. Or maybe we're the wind, blowing the seeds from the plant farther and farther across fields into new areas. This walk frees up the entire hip area. Each time we rotate and fold into one hip, we unfold the other hip, becoming freer and freer in our movements. And the top part of the body extends with each throw of the seeds, a long line of stretching and expanding. Professor Chang used to talk about the organs inside needing to breathe, and especially the digestive organs. And this opens up space for them as we make these moves. It works the entire digestive system, which is how we get the benefit of the food that we're eating. Begin in shoulder width or a little bit wider as you grow comfortable with the move. The feet are parallel. Take a moment to focus in the dantian. Take a breath. All your movement will come from here. And then relax. The arms begin at the sides. Imagine for a moment that you've got a big bag of seed on each hip. And with each step, you're going to put your hand in, take the seed and fling it. So, beginning in shoulder width, shift all the weight into one foot. Open the other to the diagonal. Shift the weight and turn into that hip, reaching into the bag of seed. Shift the weight. The arm is sent out and so are the seeds as 70% of the weight arrives in the front foot. Shift the weight now into the front foot, folding in, reaching for the seed. Take a step with the other foot. Keep that nice width between. Shift the weight and fling the seeds out. The fingertips of the forward arm are just below eye level, so you can see over them. The other arm rests on a column of air. Exhale as you reach for the seeds. Inhale as you send the seeds flying. Exhale. Inhale. Pause for just a moment in each position, almost like you're gliding on the air. This massage is to stimulate all of the cycles of digestion, everything that goes on in the upper, middle, and lower belly. Anytime there's a problem in this area, or sometimes if you just want to feel centered and relaxed, this is wonderful. Begin by standing shoulder width, parallel feet. We make two fists, hollow so we can see through them. We begin with one fist, thumb facing in. This fist is going to roll down on the knuckles. As it gets to the bottom, the thumb faces out. And then it rolls up on the wrist and back to its original position. And it slides a little bit as it goes around, so it takes in the whole area. Set the other one in motion. When one gets down to the bottom, start the other one on top, facing in, going in the other direction. And you coordinate the two so that they can both be making opposite direction circles at the same time. We're going to do this 49 times, 49 doubles, and that's the maximum number we can do that will bring energy to the area. It's so important to feel at home in your body. This massage both stirs up your intestinal area and lets it resettle in a new way, a more comfortable way.
The bare white moon outshines the seeds of stars scattered across the sky. The autumn wind blows across lifespans, hidden in the mountain crags, the pearl of eternity.
The autumn is the season of metal. Something happens to the air. The humidity is gone, and the air becomes dry and crystal clear. Our lungs love this, and we can take it in. Every process has an end to it. As the autumn comes in, the ending is the pulling back of the life force from having been extended out into the world. Green changes magically to red or yellow, and the colors against the sky are astounding. We are seeing a beautiful death. We've got the fields drying out, turning brown. We've got the leaves eventually dropping and revealing the branches underneath. The contrast between things becomes more stark. We can see the outlines of things very sharp. And, most importantly, the seed being produced. The seed is the end product of the whole year. And that seed is going to give us life in the new year. Metal has two profound qualities. One is the being inspired, the taking in of spirit, the taking in of air. But then we have to also let go. If we don't empty, we cannot take in. In most traditions that meditate, there is an idea that we empty our minds, that we relax and let our thoughts just pass by and we don't attach to them. We let them go. And eventually, the mind is calm, as though reflecting the heavens. If we look for metal itself in nature, we don't see it that often. It's valuable, it's precious. People spend a lot of time hunting it. But what about inside? Do we make ourselves into what is valuable? Do we take our thoughts and hone them? Do we take our skills and make them sharper and sharper? And this is also the metal element. We're surrounded by air. The ancient Chinese saw air as just as real as the earth. If you study Tai Chi, you'll be told that you're held up by the air. You'll begin to feel in a way that you're almost swimming in air. Metal gives us the quality of structure, like a skyscraper, letting things be in correct alignment. If we connect from the top of our head to the heavens, if we let ourselves feel that alignment between heaven and earth, that quality gives us balance and comes from a sense of structure inside. And the grace that comes from that comes from the inner structure and allowing everything to relax around that center pole, that alignment between heaven and earth. The spirit of the metal element is called the Po. And the Po is the spirit of this animal. We are animals here on this planet. If we watch animals in nature, we watch how incredibly adapted they are to their environments, how sharp they are, how they know what threatens them and what is safe. This same quality enlivens the Po and helps us to live on this planet. Metal is in a way the end point of the cycle, the place where the trees let go, we let go. And grief can really enter our hearts here because we sometimes have to let go of things that we don't want to let go of, that have meant so much to us. As painful as grief is, it is a part of life, a natural part of life. Yet, it's only one of the 5 elements. And in this grief, we also have to let go. We have to let go of the grief itself at some point, and to take with us the seed of what is important, the way the person loved us, or what we learned from something, a relationship, or from a person that we loved. We take the seed with us that can bring us the next round of life, the next cycle. After a day of fishing with its long beak, the white crane will stand on a rock and raise one wing, and the other will relax down towards the earth. And the one that's raised, all the feathers extend out to catch every little bit of sunshine to dry off. And in that raising of the wing, you have this incredible feeling that the crane is stretching towards heaven. And when we take the position, we become the crane. And symbolically, we reach for the heavens, we reach for the divine. And the other wing sends down to earth all that is not necessary or needed anymore. We begin white crane in shoulders width. We focus on the dantian and we take a breath. And we let everything go, empty our mind, relax. Shift all the weight into one foot, open the other to the diagonal. Putting all the weight into that open foot, step forward lightly with the empty toe, heel off the ground. Keep a nice space between the legs. Raise the wing on the side of the full foot. Let the wing on the empty side hang down. Feel yourself suspended by the string from the heavens so that your almost weightless body can stand in this posture easily and for a long time. When you're ready to change, when your leg has been burning a little bit and you've let go and you've sunk a little bit into that leg, step back on the diagonal, allow your wing to come down. Shift all the weight across, raise the other arm, the other wing, and step forward with an empty toe, letting the empty arm rest as though on a column of air. You can see under the notch of the wrist of the raised hand so that you're not blocking your vision, but there's the sense of reaching up towards heaven. When you're getting used to the moves, and you're raising your wing, inhale and let the breath do the movement. Exhale when the wing comes down and you switch sides. And then when you stand in the posture, breathe slowly and deeply, filling the lungs from the bottom to the top and emptying from the top to the bottom. When you stand in this posture with your arm, your wing raised, that entire side of the body opens up, and especially the lung on that side. It has a chance to expand. So we're asking for that which is pure to come into us. So we actually take in more of the heavenly chi and to send that pure life, that chi from the heavens all around the body. In this posture, we become the bird of the heavens who can fly up, up towards the divine, but also getting rid of anything that weighs us down, anything that keeps us from connecting to the heavens, we let go of. Of all the moves and postures in Tai Chi and Qigong, the Jade Walk is considered the most purely of spirit. In this walk, one hand goes to heaven, the other goes down to the earth, and we become pure jade, transmitting the divine through ourselves to the earth. We become an instrument of the divine. In fact, sometimes the Jade Walk can be thought of as the Bodhisattva path, The Bodhisattva is the servant of everyone who lives on the planet to help everyone reach connection to the spirit. So here in this walk, the function is to connect to the spirit and bring that energy to the earth. We begin the jade walk in shoulder width. Take a moment to focus in the dantian. Take a breath and relax. Let your mind empty. Shift your weight 100% into one leg. Open the other to the diagonal. Put all your weight into that leg, sinking down a little bit. Step forward with the empty toe and let it touch lightly. Keep a nice width between the legs. Raise the arm over the full leg so that the fingertips are pointing directly at the heavens. The arm over the empty leg floats on a column of air. Hold the posture for a moment. Take a step heel-toe on the diagonal. The dantian turns, shift the weight 100% forward, and as you do so, step forward with the toe, lightly touching. And now we're going to repeat that on the other side. Take a step heel-toe on the diagonal with the empty foot. Shift all the weight into it. The front hand comes down in an arc across the body, and the other hand comes up on the side, fingers pointing to the heavens, as the empty foot steps forward with the toe lightly touching. As you step, keep a nice width between the two legs. The feeling is that you're walking on a stream bed, and you need a nice wide base to keep your balance. As you shift forward and the hands drop, you exhale. As you step forward and the hand comes up, you inhale. Exhale as the arm arcs down. Inhale as the other arm arcs up. Exhale. Inhale. You can imagine this crystalline mountain stream, that you're taking steps along it, and pieces of white jade glisten. And there's another stream, a stream that comes from the heavens, in through your raised fingers and through the top of your head. And it goes through your body, through your dantian. It comes down through the fingers that point towards the earth and down through your feet. All the impurities leave us. They are swept away as our arm arcs in front of the body. Anything that is not of the divine, anything that is not pure spirit, is swept away and sent down to the earth. There are several glands in our throat that are important for balancing our energy. As we do the throat massage, we support and stimulate these glands. They make an important contribution to how the qi that we create is used in our body. Take a breath and imagine the energy of the dantian extends to the palms of the hands. And it's going to be the palm of the hand that will deliver the stroke. And we open up between the index finger and the thumb. We place that at the top of the throat. And then we stroke down gently and firmly, alternating hands. We're going to do 49 strokes total, counting each stroke. There should be a little feeling of waking up in the area. It should have a feeling of coming alive. You can also do it when you have a sore throat, when you're having a hard time expressing yourself, if your voice is hoarse. This massage will bring energy and support to the area. And also, we are best able to express ourselves when we respect ourselves. And if there is an issue on this level, this massage can also help. This is a wonderful massage if your knees are fragile, sensitive, if they ache, if they get swollen, because it brings the chi, the energy, kind of swirls it around, and it comforts and brings the blood to the area. The patella is an almost heart-shaped little bone at the peak of the knee. What we want to do is deliver the energy from the palm of the hand around the edge of the patella, not on top of it, but we want it to kind of get inside under the patella and move around in the bones underneath it, and ligaments and tendons, and it will warm that whole area up. Take a breath and imagine the energy of the dantian extends to the palms of the hands. Go down on the inside, below the knee, and circle around the outside and come up. And it's a very easy movement to coordinate with both of your hands doing the same thing, mirror image. Both going down, coming up on the outside. You're going to do 49 of these strokes. So each knee gets 49 strokes. This was a massage that Professor Chang and Patrick Watson both gave students to do all the time. The practice of Qigong begins wherever you are. Whatever your current strength, straightness, ability to move, that's where you start. Each day, add a little bit of time until you've reached a state where you can do the moves fluidly and easily, where you can hold the postures for several minutes. Here are 3 effective ways to practice. The first is to do the 3 moves of Jing Qi every morning when you arise, starting with embracing the Tao, followed by the yin-yang breath, followed by the constant bear, so that you start in stillness and build up your level of activity. So the yang energy is brought up through the body, the active energy, the energy that says, yes, I'm going to go out there. The constant bear is the most active of these 3 moves, and it provides a link into your regular life. And you may find that your body feels ready to go at the moment that you've finished it. In the evening, you're ready for the yin part of your cycle. So right before you go to bed, to fold the energy in and to get ready to sink into your deepest self, start with the constant bear, which is the most active, and as you do it, relax and soften and let the energy settle down. Then go to the yin-yang breath, and then into the stillness of embracing the Tao. And then climb into bed. A second way to practice is to begin with the Jing Qi, as we just did, and add one of the elements. Begin with the water and try maybe for a week the posture, the walk, and the massage. Each week, as you do the element, you'll grow to learn what that element feels like in your body, what the moves do, how they change you. Then you'll be able to choose one at a particular time because it raised your spirits up. It changed you in a way that was very positive. It gave you extra reserves of energy. Or you might choose an element to do after the Jing in the morning because it was difficult. And it's really good to work on the hard things, the parts that we have more resistance to. That will work out some of the problems. some of the ways that we block our energy. The third way that you might work that would be very effective would be to begin in the morning with the Jing Qi moves and then do the posture from each of the elements, starting in the water, moving to the wood, onto the fire, then the earth, and then the metal. This way, you start with the Jing Qi, and then you do a complete cycle of the elements, which will energize the entire body. When your Qi changes, your life changes. And these changes in your life come out of improving your energy. So take a note of what is going on now before you begin, and then in a few weeks, a couple of months, see what really changes in your life. A principle is a way of working with a law of nature. You might even say the purpose of Qigong is to learn the principles. And once you've embodied the principles, all of your life becomes the practice of Qigong. One of the principles of Qigong is straightness. And we use the image of being suspended by a string from the heavens to the top of the head that lets all the rest of the body relax down. Gravity pulls us to the center of the earth. It lets us be on this planet, but gravity can also make us feel weary if we are not straight. And the straighter we are, the less gravity pulls on us. Until finally, if we can find the perfect balance and alignment straight to the center of the earth, we almost feel like we're floating in air. Another principle is called sung. Sung is a Chinese word that means relax and sink. Why is it important to relax first? Well, if we just try to sink down, we're going to use force to pull ourselves down. What we want to do is relax the muscles and then let the body sink as a result of that relaxation. And so when you're holding a posture, your legs are maybe burning a little, what you want to do is push back up so they won't hurt. But if you use the principle of sung and you relax the very muscles that are burning a little, you can then sink a little deeper and find a new place that doesn't burn. Another principle is 100% weight in one leg or the other. We don't always do this, but we do it a great deal of the time. And when we're 70% or 100%, we work the leg to its maximum. We ask that leg, those bones, those muscles, to support all the weight of our entire body. We know already that this builds bone, actually makes bone thicker, and it brings new capillary beds to the muscles, brings blood. They can be oxygenated and they can work. Muscle fibers build. So we become much, much stronger. In fact, holding 100% weight makes each leg as absolutely strong as it can be. Just as the earth has a center around which it rotates, we have a center called our dantian. One of the principles of movement in all of Tai Chi and Qigong is to move from the dantian. The dantian is 4 finger widths below the navel. So if you put your index finger in your belly button and you lay your other fingers down next to it, your dantian will be just about where your pinky indents. And focus in this little point, imagining it as a little point of light, and rotate from that place. You'll experience an incredible freedom of movement. The straightness of the body following the movement of the dantian allows the arms and legs to loosen up and follow that movement. So everything comes from the center. Every movement starts here in the dantian. There are several really subtle, almost invisible principles that have to do with the energy inside the body. One is that the eyes should be half open, half closed. That means that the eyelids actually come down on the eyes. This principle is to be aware both of the outside and the inside. You're in both places, and you see everything. Another principle is that your eyes rest on the horizon. You want to avoid looking down at the ground. Keep your eyes up, and that will keep your head on straight. There's another principle that we carry out inside that completes an acupuncture meridian that travels up the spine to the top of the head, down the front of the body to the perineum. But it needs a little help from you. Your tongue needs to touch the roof of your mouth to complete this circuit. You want to touch just between the hard palate and the soft palate. So if you feel the roof of your mouth with the tip of your tongue, you'll feel the front part is very firm, and then there's a very soft part. Just let the tip of your tongue touch right in between. Meridians, so we want that circuit to be complete. Add the principles one at a time until they feel natural, until you don't have to think about them, until you have all of them. Because all of them add up to the most efficient, strongest way that you can do Qigong, and you'll get the most benefit possible. you.